Hey, business owners, we know you know the importance of maximizing every dollar. With the Delta SkyMiles Reserve Business American Express card, you can make your expenses work just as hard as you. From afternoon coffee runs to stocking office supplies and even team dinners, you can earn miles on all your business expenses. Plus, you can earn 125,000 bonus miles for a limited time through October 29th. The Delta SkyMiles Reserve Business Card. If you travel, you know. Minimum spending requirements and terms apply. Offer ends October 29th, 2025.
This is episode 157, and we got again and again another great guest on today. But before we get to that, what's up, Walt? What's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, Brian? I'm good, man. No complaints. Just trucking along. This year is
Oh,
flying by,
yes,
right?
yep. Even my little one said that. She's like, "Oh my, it just felt like today I started school," and they got like 20
Yeah.
days left, so flowing by, time's going past anyway. If you got something to
Yep.
do. Payroll. So for all the payroll folks out there, I think I talked about it last. Yeah, I talked about it.
Uh-huh.
Org payo, and one class down. I got my studying in, and next class coming up, and
Yeah.
feels good, man. It's definitely new material. Thinking of like all the new things that I'm learning, right? So it's
Yeah.
a big chance for me. Is what I'm
Okay.
coining, branding, and it's I can't wait for you to um and I think it'll be a lot easier. I had a lot of anxiety going in, like, oh my God, what would it be? But it's a lot of so far it's sub that we're familiar, but they go in depth,
Mhm.
and really define things like that. So that made me more comfortable. I was like, okay, I know this stuff. I don't know it angular, but I know enough to be and where to go find it. You know what I mean? And or holding too much information in that I know in some to hold that you do a lot, right? If you repeat, and of course, we both lighting
Yeah.
situation.
Just trying to figure it out,
No,
man.
it's
Just
good.
seeing
It's good.
how, yeah.
It's good like that. What'd you say? Static, like I'm here.
Yeah.
So, seeing we are. But look, let's pay some bills.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's see. What's up?
Oh,
Yeah.
before the finance
Oh,
challenge, you got any updates? Okay.
I'm a certified financial wifey, so that we can both kind of go through the
Uh-huh.
comment. He's going to budget for us, and those of you who don't, know, we went fitness journey a few months ago, right? Like now, it's been
You started
we
in January.
started. I learned was far as like he was like take you like a year or two before you actually work into the new budget, and I was like, what? I
Yeah.
didn't realize that. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to that. You know.
And I can understand that, right? Because your life, like how we
hmm
spend. So if you
Yeah,
get what
it's
I'm
it's
saying,
it's not so
right?
easy
And
to the habits.
yeah, trying to go cold turkey
Right.
from smoking,
Right. Oh man, 2 years. Good gosh. But like he
Yeah,
said,
man.
it'll take you the first year to kind of figure out what it really is, and then
Yeah,
the
yeah.
second year to actually start applying it. So
Yeah, yeah.
nothing really. Glad you asked. I tried don't
You know?
try to inning. I don't really like it, but I just heard a new ad for Monarch Money, which is supposed to
Okay.
be kind of put everything in one place, kind of what I envisioned
All right.
Wallet was gonna be, but it's not. It from what I understand, I
Okay.
haven't tried it and logged on yet. Apparently, Nerd Wallet, I mean Monarch Money could be the
Yeah.
answer to the helping with the budget and seeing your spending and things like that. So that's it for. What about you?
Same thing, just trucking along and trying to make, not trying, actually making cuts
Yeah.
I can, and realizing that I have built my life and I've gotten accustomed to certain things, and so it's going to time to break out of those spending habits and everything that I've built my life around. And it can be done. It's just you're just gonna have to be
It's
intentional.
exactly right. So
Yeah.
cool, man. Everything through that lens, through this lens of
Yeah.
spending and fun saving and budget, but yeah, that's why we said originally when we talked about like, oh, should we just do it for a season or should we do it for this? I was like, not be a segment through, until. I mean,
Yeah.
because look,
Yeah.
if it's going to take us 2 years to get a budget and apply a budget, clearly it needs a
Mhm.
kind of the segment in the show.
Absolutely. Now
Budgeting.
Yeah.
Shout. And today we have a
Nice.
very special guest, a friend of the show. I think it's oh no, it's the second. It's only the second per. Well, I think
Yeah, it's
no,
second.
second the guest, but I feel I was gonna say the second beyond multiple times. I think it was
Mm,
Gerard.
Gerard. We're talking about
Ooh, Melissa
Melissa.
came on multiple
We're talking
times.
about
Gerard Hall,
Melissa,
Melissa. I don't
Fran.
know if Fran's been on multiple times. You sure?
Yep, Fran's
Okay,
been on
Fran
multiple
Z. How
times.
can we
Yes, sir.
forget? Need time,
Yep.
Fran. Okay, so multiple guests.
Pete.
Uh, and I really enjoyed meeting Brittany in the beginning with this really creative, right? This creative
Yeah.
energy that you don't see very often in payroll,
Yeah.
right? And I and that kind of helping usher in that new vibrant community that for payroll, which we very
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
need. So we got Brittany.
It's a fresh. It's like you said, that jolt of energy,
Yes.
that new freshness that's coming in and
Yep.
changing the game for us, right? Because spoke to her like she does have that creative mindset and a different to put out
Yep.
herself, right? And so I'm happy to see what she's going to say today, and always happy to communicate with her and
And yeah,
chat it up.
absolutely, and get updates from her because she's made some strides in her career
Yeah,
right now. She's doing her thing. We'll let her tell
yeah,
us
yeah,
about that. Yeah. So again, Brittany Furr, a young crowd,
yeah.
about exposing to that,
That's
right?
true.
And I'm about
Yeah, that's because you always mention it that we're
aging
aging
out.
out
We're aging
in
out.
payroll, right?
We
Yeah,
both saw the charts, right? We both saw the graph,
yeah,
and what I'm thinking of is really like maybe seeing if there's a way for us to get in college fairs and just a hype man for payroll. You know what I mean? Maybe get some
yeah.
that, and do some that because that's where we need to be at the college level. Brittany Fur, a repeat
Hey,
guest. What's up,
hey.
girl? How you doing?
What is this? My
Is
encore
that your uncle? It's right. Yep.
episode, maybe?
Yeah, it is.
A lot has happened since
Got
I
anxious to
spoke.
hear and get an
Yeah.
update.
I recently had Brian in my class, and he to me
What you talk? I was
about,
talking to you. You better stop.
you said, no, beforehand. I was
Oh, that
like, when I you popped in
you
the
didn't know I was
chat,
gonna be
I
there?
said,
I
no,
figured
no
Laura
clue.
would have told you. On
Didn't say anything.
surprise.
It was a total
There you go.
surprise. So I'm like trying to go my lesson plan, and then I see him chatting, and of course I'm like a deer in headlights. I want to
Wait a minute.
go ahead and
This is
talk to
not a
you
podcast.
in so long, and so I'm like, focus,
Oh,
focus,
that's so
focus.
funny. No doubt the way is amazing. So wait, so who are you talking
Thank
about?
you.
What company? What are you talking about? Tell the folks.
So I took my talents over to payroll. If
Nice.
you haven't seen it on the movement on
That's
LinkedIn,
right.
and it's been a great time so far. I'm learning a lot, getting comfortable speaking. Before I would
Nice.
speak in front of people that I've known for some time. So to get in front of strangers, I'm still getting my nerves out, getting the wiggles out. But they've been so kind to me coming in as the rookie.
No doubt.
It's really nice.
That's awesome. Somebody has background good folks over there because we see that all the time. Like, the rural community is just great, like helping each other and the camaraderie. So it's good to sit there. So I like teaching.
They selected me to kick off the CPP Bootcamp, and I took it on and ran. Of course, I want to make sure that I'm like precise in what I
Of
say
course.
because people are taking the
Yeah.
exam. I recently took the exam in February, so I'm telling you
Oh,
stuff
so you're
that's
fresh
on my
CPP.
mind.
It's
Yeah.
interesting because when I saw it now, and I was like, oh, did she already? I was like, I don't know if I noticed that before, but so that makes you all
hmm
fresh CPP.
Yeah, so I've done I
Nice.
took the boot camp for that, and then
Ooh,
I took that exam virtually.
ooh,
So I have the virtual experience too of the exam, and then I sit in person for my CPP.
ooh. You
Okay.
think there's a
Okay.
difference
So,
or
oh, yeah,
really? What
100%.
is it?
Just the depend on the
For sure.
person and their type of demeanor, but the in-person experience is very sterile. You have to go through an ID process. You have to wait until your desk is
Oh,
assigned and cleaned up. They do give you an opportunity the session to brain dump, and so you get these little white boards of paper to like a dry erase
Mm-hmm.
board. Write on and put down any formulas, not formulas, because you're not going to do that type of calculation, but any type of maximum, any notes that you want to jot down.
Hmm.
5 minutes to jot those
And you get to
down
keep it?
and have that. And you get to keep
Oh,
it.
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But there's a lot of lag time before you start the test between once you arrive and actually sit in the seat to jot this information down. So if you're trying to retain all that, you might not want to tell nobody extra on the side because there's a time
Okay.
in between that you're just waiting.
Okay.
That's a
Yep.
great nugget.
It's still the same fashion, but it's not as much lag time. So once you sit on and your proctor comes in the room, you get right into it. They're going to make sure you are who you say you
Right.
are. You can start in your test. For virtual, there's more of a learning curve as far as the digital whiteboard. So if anybody is going to take the exam virtually, I would say use your Paint application on your computer to get practice with writing with
So
mouse,
they
because
they
that's
still allow you to use the whiteboard in the wait, no. The question was they still allow virtual now?
you can still take it
Okay.
virtually. Most of your class, most of your instructors are going to encourage you to go in
Right.
person, just because virtual experience is your room needs to be
Oh yeah. No,
clear
I would definitely
of
need to go
all.
like for definitely not.
You couldn't be any, like, someone can't
That's
accidentally
what I'm
walk
saying.
in because you could
Yeah.
forfeit your whole
Oh, heck
exam.
person then. They're not
Mm.
even on play.
Okay.
That thing is too
Okay.
expensive to be taking any risk.
So
Yeah,
is that visibly, like audibly, or both?
both
Okay.
listening in and watching your surroundings. So I know someone made a comment that they had to type to their camera because the proctor kept telling them that their hands and stuff were out of the
Oh
screen.
wow.
Yeah, we're out of. But if you're trying to stay tight in a corner, that's gonna happen.
Right.
We were getting ready to move into our house and be built, so we were in an apartment. I had the whole apartment. I panned it all the way out. That lady could see, she could
Your
see
front
my
door.
butt sitting in the chair and me.
Nice.
So it was like no
No
confusion.
doubt.
Okay.
And that's what you want, so you can move around and lean back and do what you need to do if you get virtually.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, I hope I don't have to because they're usually locations designated in every area. So do that. I'll do that for sure. All right. All right. Yeah.
Great
Great
nugget.
nugget.
Thank
So
you.
what else? What else? Any more on the creative front with the what's the website? Daisy.
Hi, I'm Stephen Rothberg,
And I'm Jeanette Leeds.
and together we're the co hosts of the High Volume Hiring Podcast.
Are you involved in hiring dozens or even hundreds of employees a year? If so, you know that the typical sourcing tools, tactics, and strategies, they just don't scale.
Yeah, our bi weekly podcast features news, tips, case studies, and interviews with the world's leading experts about the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes to high volume hiring.
Make sure to subscribe today.
I haven't been on the website so much since I went over to Payroll
Okay.
Org, just because
Okay.
I had to read my delivery
Okay.
style. It's a lot of things I can't do while working with
Okay.
them, so I just want to be mindful
I
of
understand that.
that. I'll probably come back out maybe with some more like payroll inspired merch, but it won't be consulting style or cheap.
Okay. Yep. You got
Okay.
to because you're the education department at Payroll Org, so you definitely have to align your
Right.
personal and work stuff.
Okay.
Got it. I love it. I love it. All right, so today we're going to take a little different approach, and it's not. It's a show called Barf that they do, and I saw them recently because names William and Ryan Leary. They host the show Barf. We're gonna have them on the show at some point, and the way they do it is very interesting. It's all article based. They come to the table news articles and they shoot them at each
Mhm.
other, and you don't know what the other person's going to bring, and they just kind of comment on that and
Mhm.
go off that. And it is stated there is some structure to it because like I don't know what the second one they do is acquisitions, it is funding, what companies raise funding. The first one might I guess general, but it's all business, very HR world, payroll related, and I'm having a good time listening to this show. And when we were going back and forth about this same thing, let's just kind of you know, start the show with some current payroll news. So we share with you. I see
Okay.
you got articles too to share with us, and we're just gonna do that. Let's do ladies first. So why don't you start us off?
Okay. This reminds me of a course that I took current
Ooh,
events. So basically we would have a topic each week and then everybody would gather information about that
I
topic
like
and
that.
almost just like the podcast, just dish it out on the table and say, "Did you see
Yep.
that?" And I
Okay.
think that's in normal conversation too, because when you meet up with your friends who you haven't seen in a long time, you might be like, "Oh, did you see this on social
Yep.
media?" And you start a whole dialogue about it. So it's pretty cool. The first one that I wanted to talk about was the Forbes link that I sent you guys. And this was the IRS tax violation. This guy in Maryland decided he was gonna not pay the payroll taxes for about 33 months
Ooh, he's a business
and
owner.
racked up. It doesn't really say. It says that they bought. So the guy's name is Brent Hill, and I
Mhm.
gave you two articles about it. And
Yeah.
he was withholding the taxes from the employees for the second quarter of 2016 through the fourth quarter of 2018. This is a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it says here that he was paying himself an extra salary out of what he was withholding from the employees' checks. I'm not sure how he went on this long because did those employees not get W-2s? Like, how did he comb this over for that amount of time? And he just recently got sentenced this.
Well, it makes me think of
What do you
right away. I think about what Walt discovered doing this, and Walt said that average time that folks go undetected doing these crimes, like what, 18 months to 2 years, you said?
18 months. 18 months.
So what was that time frame again for this guy?
This was 33 months
Wow.
that this went
So he went
on.
on the longer
Yeah.
end of it, right? Because again, eight average,
Yeah.
so short, longer. Holy cow! I mean, I think
But the penalties had to be rolling in, Brian. Like, he's getting the penalty letters.
its owner it takes a little while to catch up, and I mean, that's
It's saying
two
he was the
years,
chief
almost
executive
3 years.
officer of two telecommunication companies.
So
Mm.
you CEO.
Look, he may have been. I don't know. What do you think, Walt?
Look, for
16
me,
counts.
16 counts?
yeah, for
Yeah.
me, the part I find interesting is that a lot of these true payroll crime stories that we've done in the past, it's always been someone in the C-suite, right? Usually, someone more than not has
Yep.
been a CEO, a
Access.
CFO, a COO, someone who has access or authority to manipulate the data, right? And he must have been operating in a silo for a little bit, right? Because to Brittany's point, he was probably getting all those notices coming in and probably directing people to come bring it to him and say like, hey, if you see this, just come bring it to me, and probably just shredding it or whatever.
Um,
And the part I'm fascinated about is like the mentality behind it. Why do they do that?
temptation.
Because like if he's the CEO, so you would think automatically if he's the CEO of companies, he wouldn't need the funds, right?
What were the gross revenues? We ain't so
I mean,
so it could have been that, right? And if he's an employee, his pay is restricted and limited. Maybe he's not getting a bonus. And look, more often than not, what do we see with the true crime? It's the temptation of it all, right? The fact that they can they do it and they could dib and dab. And I'm thinking about the notifications, Brittany, is like maybe he was pacifying them and buying time, because IRS, you could buy time, right? You can hey, so give me an extension,
Yeah.
right? If you seem sincere for a while, and the 33-month part was just probably like, boy, enough as a guy's been BSing us for long, he's a repeat offender,
yeah.
no, yeah, I mean, it's just consistent
Yeah,
with
and so the article it goes on to say that the IRS is seeing that the penalties aren't enough to keep people from employment tax embezzlement.
what I've been
They don't
saying
care.
the whole time.
They're
Brian,
saying
Brian's been
we'll
saying that.
take it. 5 years prison, nothing. We'll pay the money back later.
Yep,
So the IRS Criminal Investigation Division is saying they're looking into a different
they've been
approach
listening.
beyond penalties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been I've been
You're
think
right.
because we've seen them people get away with millions and get 5 years is the long one I've heard of so far, because we've been reporting on millions of dollars in fraud and 18 months in prison, 2 years. Like what?
Yep.
Wow.
Sometimes no prison,
Right.
just like some restitution, something like
Parole,
that.
I mean,
Yep.
or probation or whatever, whatever it is. If they were smart and kept the money, hid money, then they're golden. Not then, I mean, it is. Like, I don't think the penalty matched the crime. You're stealing millions of dollars worth of money, and that should equate to some serious time.
Yeah.
It makes me think of Wolf of Wall Street
Oh
too,
yeah.
where they brought in that guy
Mhm.
just to take the pitfall for it.
Yep.
Or I even remember hearing somebody saying, "Oh, I'm gonna sign on to this company and just have to sign the checks. That's it, and they're paying me big
Oh heck
bucks."
no.
You're
Red
about to get
flag.
Mhm.
hit with
That's a
something.
red flag. Yeah. Heck
Hmm.
yeah.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
you
If you're coming in, you're like, "All I have to do is sign checks."
and that's interesting too, because I don't have it here. I was gonna share it on the other couple. Walt, why don't you go next?
Okay.
Yes,
By my
sir.
article. Okay, so the article was for
Oh,
Yahoo
drink.
Yahoo
Okay.
Finance. Yahoo Finance, and it was talking about the IRS and of tax auditors. And Doge lost their jobs. Doge downsizing,
Oh,
rather.
okay.
It was an article by Bloomberg, but I think Yahoo Finance posted it again. But it said that 31% of auditors, due to, I guess, purging, lost their 18% of those were revenue officers who oversaw the challenging tax cases. And then 10% of those were tax examiners, the frontline employees who actually reviewed W-2 returns. And so I just found that fascinating that, there was like thousands of people that were laid off. And that's a big chunk of an agency to let go when you have millions, hundreds of millions of
Mm-hmm.
employees in the US, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that was it. It was pretty short and sweet.
Very interesting. Yeah, that's it's folks again. So you say makes I just our cast that I listened to that was saying that like they did an analysis of how much money he actually saved in comparison to he claimed he was gonna save. Like he claimed he was gonna
Yeah,
save
yeah,
trillions of dollars, and he only ended up saving maybe a few billion or billion, which is still a lot of money, near what he would it projected. And then I learned that apparently he only had access to about 20% of the government's budget. 80% was behind the Congress, like Congress to get access to what.
yeah. That's who we need is
Oh,
those Congress
the
people.
whole government. See, that's why I wasn't really mad at, and I would love your take, Brittany, on this Trump administration. From a foreign point of view, because at some of the things that he's being toward the government, right? As far as accountability, cutting the fat, because we all know there's a lot of fat in the government. There's lack of efficiency. I'm not saying that everybody deserves to lose their jobs, but they definitely need an overhaul in government institutions. I mean, we deal with it at pros from state to state. You get the inconsistency in the customers and in the way that you deal with it. Like one state is easy online and portal and everything, and another state is like, nope, you have to fax me or you have to mail that, and we don't answer the phone from this time. Like it's very difficult. What do you think, Brittany?
The approach is very like sucker punch style. So
Oh,
people didn't get time to prepare. Like
Yeah.
even though some of the calls were efficient, there was no preparation, and then we're kind of just left looking over here, looking over there, to be next, and on
Mhm.
edge. Everybody's just on the edge of their seat. Things
Yeah.
are changing. There's contradictions or executive orders that are being pulled back with stuff that we think was gonna be in place for 2025. So it's just like on edge. It's suspense. It's a thriller.
yeah, that's a thriller.
Yeah.
All right, I got
Yeah, I'm reading Brian's article. Come
which
on
one?
and tell us about
Which
it.
one?
I'm reading the one about the Krista,
Krista. The three hundred
um,
thousand dollars.
with Charles Machine.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this one is on the payroll side, where this person, a
Mhm.
woman from Brookville, Pennsylvania, has been charged with stealing more than 9,000 hours of unauthorized overtime. Is beyond me, but and they say that equals up to about $3, right?
Mm.
The total loss is going to be
Yep,
300K.
yep.
300K.
Wow.
And she did it with increments in here where it says company and police say VPN logs tracking work from home hours showed only about 2.25 hours of verified remote work. 2.5 hours, two and three
Wow.
and a quarter hours, and less than
Yeah.
claimed. And when investigators interviewed Brocious about the deceased, she declined. So she faces a second-degree felony charge, theft by deception. She was released on a $25,000 unsecured bail with preliminary hearings coming up. This is fresh. She hasn't been sentenced yet. She admit for some reason I don't have a whole article here anymore. It's not scrolling.
It's not a long
No,
one,
it was
but I
longer.
looked the
Yeah.
company, Charles Machine Inc. It's giving
Mm-hmm.
sketchy. It Google is showing like some bushes. It's not even a building. So I don't know. This could be a cover up
It
to
like you
something.
Including.
said, it could be somebody that they needed to take the fall. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
This is
And
because she bailed out too. This is giving Fall
Yeah,
Guys.
25,000. Yeah.
Man,
I got
let's see what else is
Crystal Brocious is. Yep.
Uh-huh.
oh, it's interesting. It's all the same news outlet that's reporting it too.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a different.
Yeah.
Because I know I read more than I can't find it. No.
Oh, so did they give a time frame in there?
Maybe it's on the DOJ website because they'll post two with more like detail. So for mine, I was reading from both.
DOJ
Okay.
say like it does that to us too. Sometimes signal is shaky.
Hmm.
So we found the time frame, and Walt, you
Okay.
said from 2013. Walt.
From
So
2013
now,
until November of
so
last
like
year.
12 years, 11, 12.
11. Yeah,
So
11
no
years.
wonder why it was $300,000. Because I'm like, wait a minute. What I thought about immediately was like, who didn't catching, not catching?
So she breadcrumbed
Who
it.
wasn't? Wait a minute. So let's see. Let's math. So three. Yeah, she Breckley. That's 30. I got need another zero. 12 years or 11?
11 years, I think. So that's
So is it
2013 to 2024.
$3,000 a year?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, they're almost $30,000 a year.
Whoop, for
Right?
two
Did I do
hours
that
of
math
work.
right?
Look at her. That's a real
Yeah.
Yeah.
champion.
Almost 30 grand a year. That's a whole nother paycheck, basically.
So how many in hours? I know it was
9,000
9,000 hours.
hours.
Write
That's a
it
good
down.
one too.
Divided by 11.
Well, no, wouldn't it be the 300 divided by the 9,000 hours?
I just want to do
True,
that.
true,
I wanted to
true.
see how many hours
1,000
billing.
divided by 11. What do you
So,
get?
so it's over 800
800
hours a
hours at
year.
$33 an hour.
Okay.
800 hours. So yeah, that's flying low because even if it was by semi-monthly, 800 true payroll people breaking it down.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
It's still, so that's 33 hours per paycheck. That's a lot though.
So, what I'm gonna say is, there's no way she could have been a true payroll person through and through, because she would have been shaking in her boots to do.
Correct.
Because
No, yeah.
we take kind of like this code of honor, like
A good payroll person, yes.
That integrity.
Yes.
if we've
The
gone
honor
through all
code.
the
Yeah.
steps and we've actually put in the hustle and bustle behind this
Mhm.
career, somebody who just kind of fell into it and say, "Oh, this is some easy money," that's when you see the sneaky sneak.
Payroll crime we ever did was a payroll manager out of Chicago Museum or something, and
You might.
he did it through terminated employees, PTO payments. I think there was something else. He was
He was doing a
Right.
lot of stuff. He was finagling the
Yep.
account data,
Deleting
going
it
in,
after.
changing
Yep.
bank account
The
information,
most. He
and
was doing the
yeah,
most. And
yeah.
he got caught and did time. Like, and he was only, it was only a few years there. But same thing, right? What we discovered is it's like it's either lack of oversight or they're the top of the hill and nobody is still, it's like it's lack of oversight regardless whether you're the owner or the payroll person. Somebody's not keeping those folks in check. And we did one where it was like it was a CEO was just living the life, buying jet skis, buying cars, going on crazy vacations, and just stealing money from the pay. He owned a payroll company, and he was taking client money, and it's just I think it's the type of integrity that sets them there.
So, but they had to have, because some of these people that we've done these stories on, right, and done the research on, like they've been in those positions and they've had to have worked their way up. So you think that it's just something that just
No,
like you spoke to, the temptation just came, or you think it's
it's
something that
already
was
there in them.
already
Yeah, it's
inside of
already
them?
inside of them. They probably doing it in other
Okay,
ways and fashions in their life, and this.
Well,
okay,
this kind of segues in two of my other articles, because
There you
and
go.
they're both from Reddit. So one of them was talking about this guy who said he knew someone who had been paid 75K in overpayment after they were let go from the company. So the team never
yeah,
did all the steps to fully terminate. So payroll just kept running it, kept going.
yep,
What?
yep,
That's the on our sheet. That's that second one.
Oscar.
yeah. I
hmm
got that open. Yeah.
And it's two
4 weeks
conversations
ago.
within that
Yeah.
same one, which is like about Reddit. You really get to see perspectives from all over.
So that do you think payroll should take the blame for that? I don't think they should, right? How do you
It's
both?
harder because who touched it last? Payroll. They're gonna
Mm-hmm.
blame us.
Yep.
HR should have had some type of termination. Who let them go? Did you tell anybody? I mean, it's a lot of things
Yep, yep.
happening. Did he get all benefits? Did they even send out the Cobra? So
He
So
many.
may
many
not even
layers.
care because he saw the checks keep rolling in.
Yeah, but even there,
Was it collusion?
it still matters. It still matters.
Internally, you mean like at the somebody at
Mhm.
yeah, agreed, agreed.
But I do see that the employee said he wrote a check for the overpayments. So
Mm.
I think
75K.
I thought he
this is
said
what
he
I'm
didn't
reading.
want to write the check. He was saying, "I don't want to be inconvenienced. Why
Oh,
should I have to write it?" And
oh,
down in
okay,
the
okay.
thread, he's like, "And this corporation is big, but they don't have Venmo." I said it before.
Mm?
Overpayment, we don't
Yeah.
have the modern way of recovering that money. We're either getting it back from pay
Mm.
production or you got to
Mm-hmm.
mail in a check. There's
Yeah.
no outside. Then you would need
You
a collection department. Who's gonna keep track of that third party? What do you owe?
I
Is
would
it net or
you
gross?
can get a
Oh,
wire. They could wire it
Who's
because I
paying
had
for
that
the
happen.
wire?
I was just gonna say had that happen, and I offered to pay for the wire.
yeah.
I said, look, you could take the price of the wire out of what back
Mhm.
and send it. And ultimately, decided to write a check because they did ask like, do you Zelle? No, that
No.
like that's a good can't
I did
corporations
pitch
at the
that to UKG before I left them. Say, hey, y'all might need a la carte overpayment because
and what they say.
I don't know if it got up. I
Okay,
came on with payroll org before I finished.
before you could
Yeah,
hit.
because they do this. People within the company pitch new products or pay
Oh,
points,
that's awesome.
and so I entered into
Nice.
it, but I don't know what happened after that.
They're gonna mess around and take
Okay.
that course, but
Another component of this is the location. It says it was in Missouri, right? So do you either like what the if that state has about overpayments? Because I know there's some if you get overpaid, the employee can fight that a little bit, right?
Let me
I
not
mean, if
not say it like that. Your most difficult state is gonna be California. Then you're hitting New York. Those are your
Okay.
two tricky
hmm
places.
Okay.
And then there is this one state that requires you to get a notarized restitution agreement.
oh,
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't have my
Mm.
old sheet up anymore, but I would
Because I
say,
know New York definitely requires a sign. You got to an agreement.
and it has to be within a certain time frame. So New York
Oh,
is saying if it's out of
Yes.
did
if
find
it's out
something
of
about
those
that. Yep.
dates, you might as well not even say anything because you can't take it back. It's
That's
outside.
crazy.
So you would need to have a very tight schedule on your auditing to find the overpayment, notify the employee, get them to agree to it in enough time. So if they're witty and they know you're working with a thin amount of time, they can hold out to the end.
Okay.
Tough one.
Wow.
All right.
Yep.
Who's next?
I got another one.
Ed,
Yeah.
go ahead.
A town of Stockton. Let's see, Stockton City. What state are they in? What state is this? All right. Anywho, Stockton City, they racked up 100. What? Oh, it was like 5,000 payroll errors. That equaled 1.6 million.
This
In
has to
Wow.
be in California because I see Jason Lee right there. And
Who's Jason Lee?
Jason Lee is he has a
Oh,
talk
Jason
show.
Vice or Jason
Yeah,
Lee?
he's pretty controversial, but he does a lot of think content and some pop culture information. But he ran for mayor and won. So this is a very
Oh,
interesting article to read.
so anywho, probably California, city of Stockton City. Again, where was my little blurb? Here we go. The result was a backlog of underpayments and overpayments. A total of 5,412 retroactive payments were processed for 1,383 underpaid employees, and the city reimbursed a total of $1.6 million because of these payroll
Wow.
errors. The primary causes included late entries for promotions, step increases, and other personnel actions, as well as human error during timesheet and payroll processing. Horrible. Pack these fools up. Like, this
Yeah.
is crazy.
What's also making me cringe is later inside the article, it's saying that the payroll responsibilities were transferred over to the human resources department.
Ooh. Which
Okay.
could be an issue, but clearly payroll wasn't in human resources, and they're gonna and that
And they're
happens a
using
lot,
Robert
right?
Half, it says. It goes on to say that they're going to use two outside vendors, which is Robert Half, and I think this abbreviation is a staffing company. They
Yes, it
abbreviated
is,
it.
by the
Okay.
way. Yeah.
It is California. Okay.
Because then they go, due to legal limitations, the city cannot unilaterally deduct overpaid wages from employees' paychecks without their consent. Employees who refuse to repay may be taken to small claims court if the dollar amount warrants it, and most have reached agreements with the city attorneys. Rivas added. So I guess they're involved, and some of them kind of cowered
Man.
out once the lawyer called them.
Shameless plug. I am
Gotcha.
going to speak at Congress about overpayment. I'll be
I saw that.
sitting with Miss Karen and
Nice.
Gretchen. Again, I'm going to be there as a
Yes.
fangirl myself, just like oodling up the knowledge that they're going to share. But I'll
That's
chime
right.
in when I can to like kind of bring it into current day or
That's
relatable.
Okay.
yeah.
Nice.
You can share some
All right.
crazy. Just looking through it now. It's just crazy. The forensic audit was examining money in and out, including
Wow.
Medicaid cash flows.
Yeah,
of the
that
city
was a good one.
account, right?
Because this is public
Ugh.
sector. So that's
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
worse
But
by
see,
itself.
fan of folks losing jobs, and you're right. The way they did it, sucker punch type, it could have been probably walked out differently.
In the
You know what I
defense
mean?
of the employees here for this county, they may not have known they were paid incorrectly. And so,
Yeah.
they're getting this probably grossed up amount because it's been so long. We're out of
hmm
that current year, so we can't collect the net. And they're like, "Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
what is happening to me? Oh my gosh, I have these tax liabilities now. I need to file an amended return." Like so many things. So I do feel sorry for the employees, and They should come to some type of agreement that's not going to be in small claims court, because that is just a little bit of bullying.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
No,
sure,
I get it.
for sure.
I get
But
it.
Right.
it goes to show you, right? Like it's we
Yeah.
class recently with payroll that like the biggest challenges were paying taxes and auditing. I was surprised to see the auditing. I'm thinking that's kind of par
But
for the course.
when would you have the
I
time, Brian?
feel like you have to make the time. I get what you're saying, but I feel like it's you got to make the time because if you especially if red flags are being raised. I could see if everything's quiet on the front and you get the errors in payroll and you're correcting them right away and you're not looking broader, but if you're getting
Hmm.
uh complaints of or if you're seeing one thing, right? So cuz I'm the type like if I see one payroll error, I want to audit to make sure that it wasn't global,
Hmm.
right? Once. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Even when I tell
So
people that I came from a payroll team that was 30 plus people, they're like, "Whoa,
it's
big
crazy.
team.
Hmm.
We've
Yeah.
never heard of that." But we needed it. We needed it for the compliance. We're multi-state. We're doing different type
Yeah.
of industries. We got M and
What was
L.
the
We
head count?
got profession for payroll
Yeah, for no,
total.
for the like employee that you were supporting.
Well, it was over 100K.
Oh, that makes sense then.
We broke down into region, we broke down into
Yep.
profession, we broke down in, so that's
Oh,
why you saw so many
specialized.
I think back in the
Yeah.
day you saw more like generalist where you were a jack of all trade, and
Mm-hmm.
then we did that because we were
Yeah.
trying to survive. But when we got in a thriving mode, we were like, hey, we need subject matter experts that actually know
Yeah.
and have sat with the material through all the seasons, like
Mm-hmm.
a payroll for the whole year, and can tell you, okay, these are our peaks. This one we can actually sit down and have time to audit. It's a skeleton crew for a lot of people. That's why I said,
It is. Look, I'm a team of one payroll person. I don't have a big head count, in my opinion, because I've come from larger head count. So I do
hmm
right, and of course, the length of time I've been doing this, but I don't see how you function without auditing and checking and at least spot checking and things like that. Like if y'all are having trouble auditing and find, please reach out. We will definitely help you understand that you gotta audit and find the time. But
or know
Yeah.
where to start, because you can't audit everywhere.
agreed. I did get that question as well. What do we even with?
hmm
And I do like, recommend some basics to start with, but then also is happening in your company. What are of you the pain points specific to your company, and you start there. But again, yeah, if you don't have any pain points and nobody's reporting anything, then there's some places that you could start. I'd tell you a good place to start right now where I learned is, and this is something new that I'm learning, is on the GA, right?
mm
Like the invoicing and reconciling the cash at the end of payroll process. See,
Yeah.
especially however you're under credits and debits, the differences that they need, right? I've been in ADP for a long time. I don't know how the others do it, but ADP will, you for your most recent check date, they're throwing in things there from the prior 6 months of credit and debits. Yes, and then you got to be like, oh wait, this, and but it tells you. So like those are things, some of those things that you could find. Like for instance, I got like a refund check for a 401k because we also use ADP 401k product. So the refunds for like an overpayment on a loan is coming through my invoices, and that has to go
Hmm.
back to the employee. So I'm like, wait a minute, has anybody been doing this? So now, right? Boom, boom, boom. Now I want to look, see, and I haven't worried, folks, if you're there. I'm looking and like, wait a minute, how far is this one back?
Who
Who
knew?
else is impact? Exactly.
Right.
Who
Yeah.
knew, and why haven't they
That's a
acted on
good
it?
talking point, Brian, to say if you're
Mm-hmm.
outsourcing to a third party, know what they're doing and know what they're not
Yes.
doing. Because
Yes.
you're like, oh yeah, they
Yeah.
do that all the way from start to finish, and
You
it
got to
don't.
check them.
Hmm
Trust but verify. You have
Yeah.
to check, right? You
Yeah.
got to, and again, you got to be able to do every single line item, but,
hmm
right.
Look, in a lot of third party providers, like they leave that responsibility to you, right? They're just going to do the basics of what is needed. And if you don't ever set up a tax account, if you don't ever set up an employee, if you misclassify an employee in the system, they're just going to let it, they're just
Right.
going to, hey, give you enough information and let it ride. That's on you. They're like your
Yep,
owner, right?
I guess.
I think some vendors are changing that in my mind recently, but Walt's right. It's on the client, right? If you access stuff that I've been reading, it's like it's on the client. It's the client's responsibility. Don't care. Some studying I'm doing. So, you know, yeah. So, Brittany, you got one more for us,
I
or was
got
that
one
it?
more. This is a
All
good
right,
one.
let's do it.
So it's on Reddit again, and the person is saying, "How is payroll even a job anymore?"
Hmm?
They go on this
Oh, here we go.
understand how big companies can't automatically process somebody's payroll. The people's leave is in the system, their salary is in the system, the pay is just automatic. How is it ever? It goes on to say, what do payroll professionals do every day?
Oh my gosh.
It's a
Right.
wild and crazy one. There's 337 comments right now talking about the things that
Yeah.
payroll is not doing. So
Does.
how no, they're saying like nobody does anything in payroll.
My gosh.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah, a lot of people have that thought process, right? They think you just push your button and all you're doing is just hitting authorize, funds go out, and that's it. And that's why I think that person is saying that pay should just be automatic, but there's so much more that goes into that. If a system goes down and we're scrambling behind the scenes, they may not know that, right? Because nobody's going to alert the
Yeah.
employee and say, "Hey,
No,
we're
right.
scrambling." That they got, nobody's going to
You're
tell them that.
absolutely right, bro. It's an easy button to them. They don't get what we do. I'm reading this one of these comments here. It
Mhm.
says my wife is a payroll officer, and the amount of work she has to do because of staff, manager, and HR uh, errors really is staggering. So much so that the rest of the month she has to work 6 days a week. It's the amount of time it takes to fix f ups because of information coming in late or wrong is staggering. If she was just processing pays that have been done correctly, it is a relatively simple job, but nothing is ever easy or accurate. Facts, big facts. And they don't process six individual pays. They prepare the pays for 600 people, and then it goes through the system, and
Mhm.
HR then come to them 6 hours later. Ooh, yep. And it's because a lot of times HR mates, we're in HR. It's situations as managers, like we can only process. You could, as a payroll pro, correct me if I'm wrong. You could only hope to get the payroll as good as we could possibly know. They're gonna be, if there are errors, it should be things that you did not know about,
Yeah. Or
right?
at
Like
least they're
that's.
new errors. Don't let them keep being the same thing over and over
Oh
again.
yes,
If they're
yeah,
new, that's okay. Like we're
right.
understanding to that.
But if you let things roll through, yeah,
Mhm.
that's a problem. That's a bigger issue.
Week after week.
So let me ask you both a question then about that, right? So let's someone's rate was supposed to be
Hmm.
changed, whether that's an increase or decrease, whatever
Sure.
way you want to let, and they're not responsible for submitting the paperwork, are not
Hmm.
doing it, and no matter how many reminders are sent out and everything, but how can payroll? What can payroll do about that?
Squeak wheel, I
Who
would say.
who's well
You
who's
gotta.
you that the rate is wrong and needs to be changed? Who's saying that? Is
What if it's an actual thing that the official
True. Or
contract
sometimes
offer
you get
letter or
a
something,
offer
whatever it
letter,
is?
like I don't know, it's a new letter when you get maybe like a promotion or
yeah.
internally or some
Hmm.
type of documented, hey, we're promoting you to this, and this is going to be your new rate.
Well, if we ever got wind in staffing that someone was at the wrong rate and they had proof, like a go, I mean,
Right.
we're pushing that back to who everybody that was involved in that hiring process.
Hmm.
Somebody needs to go in there. Maybe the manager doesn't have the credentials to change that rate, but whoever posted the job, maybe it needs to go back to your comp team. Somebody outside of
Look,
payroll needs to make that change because isn't that messing up the checks and balances if we're in there just
yeah,
changing rates?
yes. Look,
Yeah,
I,
it
I
is.
walked into a new job once, and the payroll pro was really set up for failure, right? Because this person had to update the rates every time payroll rolled through because the HR folks did not understand, or I don't know what the disconnect was. They were not changing the rates in the employee profiles. Now, when you have an HR team, it's big. Somebody on that team needs to own the employee information. Payroll should not be responsible for updating pay rates in a team that can handle the bandwidth. That is an HR function. Like Anita Latink says, payroll starts the moment HR profile is changed or created and impacted. And when payroll has that access, then ghost employees and the temptation to steal will exist, and you don't want that. So this payroll person was getting beat up by the managers and the employees because they were saying my rate is not right, my rate is not right, you stick the rate, and the payroll person is just like, I'm gonna payroll and I'll share it with HR. And I don't know if it was just a matter of like who said it did it and they didn't want to do it.
That's backwards, Brian. So let's say I went in and I manually did something in that payroll. It's taking it as a snapshot right then. It's never going to hold because how it's feeding in isn't changed. It'll never hold.
Exactly right, Brittany. Exactly right. And it took me coming in and just being like, hold the presses here. This is what's going on. I had to tell my leadership. And then finally, and honestly, it took me still another year or so after that to convince them that HR needed to own the data.
Yeah.
And you're talking a big HR team and a decent sized payroll team, and there was no reason for, like, this is not, and a lot of HR folks, I think, unfortunately, more veteran than not, feel like payroll is not HR, HR is not payroll, and that's not true. It's one and the same, right? It's two parts of the same.
We get the same information, but how we utilize that information is very different. Like, let's say an HR person might know of somebody moving out of state to Canada, and payroll is like, what? We're not even set up to process payroll in Canada. How long were they there with it? Like, all the things. So what we do with the same information is...
But the point is, you got to share it. Like, if you're a team, even if payroll doesn't report to HR, share it. And y'all got to change it and then say, hey,
and you also need to say what's important to you. So HR might not know what's important to you as a payroll. It's like, hey, moves are important. Terminations are important to us.
Yes.
Like, we need to know about those things. So they're thinking like, oh, I'm just doing my work. Why are you bothered with termination? Pay them their pay. Okay, well, here in California, we got some stuff to do really quickly. And we can't just let them get paid in the normal pay cycle. So let us know something. Any our people listening.
There's so many things
that my folks like, look, terminations, tell me at any moment. Like, what don't matter, because I usually payroll has to not has to, but should share a deadline for changes. Like, hey, y'all's changes need to be in by this day. After this moment, I'm not going to see the changes anymore, right? I pulled the snapshot already, and it's done, right? Unless it's a termination. I tell them, look, just cut right through it and just make sure I know that there's terminations happening. But look, we could go on all night. Thank you, Brittany, for coming on. Great episode. We gotta come back on again. You know, this is your home. This is I said recently that the greatest payroll folks on the planet have been on this show, and that's what I like to do, is just make it.
Yeah, I love the momentum you guys are having for 2025. I mean, it's just this is the first act to back. I mean, we're having such great guests, you included, of course, and it's going to continue. I think we're booked through like July almost right now. Wow.
With guests on the show. Yeah, it's just amazing. I'm loving it. I'm loving the momentum and everything that's happening. And it's just good. It's really good. But so I'll ask you this: what would you tell somebody new to the game, Brittany? What advice would you have for a youngin'?
I would say
she's young.
She's been in the game a little while though.
I'm still a rookie in comparison.
Wait, how many years have you been doing payroll?
A decade.
You crazy as hell.
You're a vet.
When I stack up to who I'm coming, I mean, they have 30, almost 60, 50 years in the game. I would have to say.
Okay. Yes, you're a
I
baby compared to
yeah,
them,
I'm
but
a baby in comparison. But I've done garnishment, I've done staffing, I've done film and crew.
Hmm.
I even interned for the retirement system here in Georgia. So
oh, that's dope.
I would say move around within payroll to see the areas that you like
I like that.
and sink into that. Like I can think back, I took an accounting course and the instructor said, "Hey man, you would really be good in payroll." And tada, I can't find him to this day, but
Hmm.
he was right.
Wow.
He saw that and knew, and always stayed
God bless him.
close to payroll some type of way.
Yeah.
I started out um, twirling the sign for Liberty Tax because I went there and I didn't even have enough money to file my taxes. And so I learned about payroll taxes and the W 2, and that owner of
Mm.
that Liberty Tax actually sent me to take some classes from Walter's Clore, which were not cheap back
Wow.
then. So, like, so many people have poured into me in the direction of payroll,
Blessed.
and I didn't even know this was a career option then.
That's what I'm saying. Thank you
There
for
you go.
saying that, and that's
There you go.
exactly right. What's up, Will?
Hey, it's Libby DeLucian. If you're sick of business advice that sounds cute but doesn't actually move the needle forward, this one's for you. The Libby DeLucian podcast is where we go one layer deep. No gurus, no glitter, just straight up unfiltered talk about scaling a business, running a household, and holding on to your sanity in the middle of the chaos. If you're the bottleneck in your business or in your own life, I'll show you how to fix it. Simple, tactical, and one layer deep every time. Let's go. Visit libbyd.com and check out our podcast today.
Can I ask you, Brittany? Could you speak on for the youth, right? How could how could you verbalize what could interest them in payroll? Like if I'm an 18-year-old, 19-year-old, like what would you say to me that would
It's a good one.
captivate me and want to bring me into payroll?
Well, I've already said the word problem, and it's not
Hmm.
boring. It's
Mm-mm.
it's
Okay.
very rewarding. It's people facing, even though you might not talk to folks every day, and you get to see a instant impact. So you get
Okay.
to see, okay, I did this payroll. All right, how Brian said, it's Friday. It's a happy payday, and you get to see that even when you're
Hmm.
walking around or interacting with other people that you're payrolling. It's almost like this inside joke to yourself that you like brought some type of joy or fulfillment to a regular person, a stranger that you got to. If you
Good.
like the paradox of pay, if you don't mind the contradiction, and you like a little bit of government and politics, I think that can pull you in too to it.
Okay.
Not
Okay.
so much accounting. I don't We fall into that where people
You can, yeah.
assume that we are heavy on the accounting side or numbers.
Yeah, I get that a lot. Oh, you're a
Yeah.
numbers guy. Not
We
really.
deal with a lot of numbers, but we function on logic and compliance, governance, regulatory stuff. Like that's our bread and butter. And a code of
Yeah.
honor too.
So yeah, that's great. Thank you for saying that. So I also feel, and let me know if both of you agree with this, and then I'll get out of the way here. But I think that another interesting thing for me is that payroll touches so many different
Hmm.
industries, right?
All of them.
Like
Yep.
if you like
Oh
sports, you can get a
yeah.
job doing payroll for a sports team. If you like film, like you spoke
Mm-hmm.
to, Brittany, like you could possibly job in those industries
Yep.
doing payroll and be close to that. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like
maybe
I
I
think that's
could do a
another
fun
fascinating
one for
thing.
film. When I did film, I
Okay.
did I did it here in Atlanta, and I did some projects for the Georgia Lottery, and also on
Ooh.
the set for Dumb Dumb and Dumber,
Oh.
which film and extra and the crew, they run off of paper. Like Miss Tabitha Brown said, you still get a check in the mail. So imagine us around there scrambling, trying to get that I-9 completed, trying to get their
Oh
actual
my
address
God.
so we can
Wow.
mail checks. I
That's
mean, it was
crazy.
a
Yeah.
wild time. So that is the grunt of it, but it's very exciting. You get to be on set. Yeah, so that's an exciting place if you want to be close to film. Payroll, close to film. Yeah.
And I think also, I think saying writing it up is like you can you can go so many different that you don't realize,
Yeah.
right? Even to the point where you can open your own business and be an entrepreneur. Christina Hagney, after 10 years in payroll, started her own payroll processing company and is killing it out
Booming.
there in Tulsa, Oklahoma. She's doing it, winning all kind of Business of the Year awards and just killing. She's a mentor of mine. I don't think she even realizes it, right? So you can do anything, right? People are writing books now. People travel the world doing it on movie sets, sports teams, like anything that you really interested in. But right, like, oh well, I like sports, so maybe I'm not an athlete. You could possibly get into a sport, and we keep going to sports because it was me and Wall, of course. But
Gaming, even gamers.
The
yes,
gaming,
Anything you
yes,
can imagine.
absolutely.
If you really love
Yep,
house plants, what think of
yes,
your hobby
yes.
and you
yep.
could literally take
You
that
can
into
marry it to
payroll.
them. Yep.
And another thing that I like is that if you're a creative and you like me, I like music and I make music and stuff like that. I could tap into that and make something for
Yeah,
people.
waiting on to
Like
make the rap. Like, what are we waiting over here?
now that he
Yeah,
has an album,
songs.
a
Yeah,
payroll album out there.
Crazy.
It's out there.
I
Yeah.
never knew. Look, I'm gonna put it on LinkedIn at some point. I
Hmm.
want I want us to build the payroll playlist. But like, what? I mean, they can throw them in there too. But what songs do you write? What's your playlist? What puts you in the zone? What do you want to listen to, right?
Yeah.
And I want us to build the payroll playlist, right?
Yeah. The final can never
Oh,
sum
that's a
money.
good. The
Oh, they
final
recently asked, I think it's the CEO of Great Place to Work. They asked him what was on his playlist, and
Hmm.
he said he usually has like a high impact rally song, and he plays it over and over and over again, like on repeat.
Okay.
There you
Just
go.
one song. He doesn't have playlists. He just has
Oh,
one song that he listens to. I'm gonna
how long does
assume
he do that for?
I'm gonna assume that it's techno. He didn't say it, but I'm gonna guess this is probably a techno beat, and you know you could just get zoomed in and never come out of those.
And look, and
Yeah.
it's different from me too, though, because I get into moods and I'm like, all right, this, you know what I mean? So
Hmm.
I'd be interested to see what our LinkedIn community has to say on like, oh, this is my song and this is my,
That'd be
right?
fun.
So
That'd be
we're gonna
fun.
do that.
That'd
We're
be
gonna
fun.
put out a poll, a post, or something, and just collect and just build and put it and really build it on Spotify and share it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See where that goes and just
That'd be
have some
fun.
fun with it. But look, we could have again, we can talk all night. We can't though tonight. We can
Yeah.
come back
Thanks
though,
for
Brittany.
having me on the show.
Oh, yes, it's
Anytime, call
always
me
a
Course.
up.
pleasure.
I'll come on.
Oh, thank you.
Hmm.
Awesome. All right,
Thank you,
so we're
Brittany.
gonna have you back soon. Maybe after I pass my CPP,
Absolutely.
we can regroup. All
Nice.
right. All right. We love you, folks. Till the next time. Peace.
Every minute your finance team spends wrestling with data is a minute lost. Insight Software's AI-powered insights instantly move you from complexity to clarity. Automated analysis, real-time reporting, strategic recommendations, all at your fingertips. Transform how your finance team works and watch your business grow. Stop wasting time. Start making smarter decisions. Learn more at insightsoftware.com/AI.